So,
I have a question.
yeah.
Sorry, kind of all over the place.
Yeah, we're
PL and Toronto are going on lockdown on Monday. I fucking hate that they're doing it. I think it's I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's they're gonna crush businesses. The gyms are definitely gonna suffer. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Now, when the government says we're gonna enforce a lockdown, who enforces that? Police officers or bylaw officers?
A little bit of both.
So here's my question for you: put yourself in an officer's shoes, not as a union president. How do you go to a place like Lynn? Let's say Lynn was in Peel, and you say you have to close your doors down. You're gonna lose everything. And he says, "No."
I know he abides by all the rules, so I wouldn't have to shut him down.
but ultimately, like, do you have is there a moral compass that the officers are gonna have to say, look, you shut it down, even though they may agree or not agree?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's where it becomes very black and white, and it's unfortunate. We don't make the rules; we have to enforce the rules, and sometimes that doesn't make us popular, right? We don't, like I said, we don't make the rules.
But what would happen if all the police were like, not going to do that?
Well, I mean, you've got your discretion for a lot of things. Certainly, like speeding tickets or whatever. I can reduce the ticket or whatever. But I mean, you can't turn a blind eye to something that's criminal in nature. I mean, you'd be neglectful of your duty. But I mean, the human aspect of it, where you see someone like a Justin Bruckman shutting his doors, that breaks my heart.
It breaks my heart too.
Like, not only do I love the guy to death, but I mean, I watched that. His post on Facebook, and I'm tearing up, and I'm like, oh my God, Lofi's closing his doors. Like, this is heartbreaking. And if I had to be a bylaw officer that had to say, hi, Justin, Adrian Woolley here, just wanted to let you know you have to close the doors. How do I tell a guy that's been, 24 years he's given not only to the sport, but back to his community, and how many kids has he saved? That's the thing that people don't understand. How many people that could have gone totally down a totally different road if it wasn't for Justin Bruckman. And now I got to tell him, by the way, you're locking your doors. That's so tough. It's tough because certainly a moral dilemma. What comes in there, I don't know. Because
it's one of those, like, you'd want the police on your side. Like, hey guys, like, look, like, fuck the government, like don't listen to them, man. Like, just like don't lock down, because that's how I feel. That's how I'm feeling right now. I really don't want everybody to lock down. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't understand the virus enough. Maybe I don't. But the numbers speak for themselves, man.
Yeah.
When I see that, then it's like, man, like, if I was a small business owner, and we're going on lockdown, and now all of a sudden I'm going to lose my house, I'm going to lose my wife, and we're going to be out on the street, I'm going to want to fight for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, and then it's the officers or the bylaw officer, police, or whoever comes to the door that says, no, man, you got to shut down. Why would you do that? Yeah, like it's easy for the government to put that in your hands, to make you do that. Yeah, because it's not them coming to your door saying, hey, you got to shut down.
Yeah.
But it's like, what would happen if all the police and all the bylaw officers said, no, we don't agree with what the government is saying? Tricky, slippery slope.
But that's kind of the whole thing. Like, I think we just hit it right there. They have to do what the government asserts, and if the government makes crappy decisions.
But do they have to? The
police get the blame. They're the ones who get all the pressure, and we let everyone else just. And I'm not. I mean, would it be true to say that police have more restrictions against anti-government action, right? Because I feel like that would be considered some sort of treason, or I don't know, something like that.
You'd be neglectful in your duty for sure, right? Yeah. So I mean, there's certain things that you would never want to have anyone come back at you and say, listen, you know what, Adrian, you did your job, and now you're going to be held accountable under the Police Services Act, and so now you're going to be charged under not criminally, but under the Police Services Act, because you were neglectful in your duty, and you should have done this and you should have done that, and say, so now Justin doesn't lock down, but then we have an outbreak of 40 children that get COVID at Bruckman's Martial Arts. You're like, oh my God. And I was the officer that went there and I let it stay open. And so you're kind of like, really? Yeah. So do you want to be neglectful? Do you want to be that guy that's kind of like, I don't think it's that bad, because it's Adrian Woolley's personal opinion that I left Bruckman Martial Arts open and now 40 kids get it? Because they're going to say, what? Oh my God.
Responsibility on the officer for something that's not their. Like,
and maybe that never happens. And the likelihood, because we all look at the stats or whatever, and 99.9% 0.17, whatever the percentage is astronomically low that you would get it, or that the chance of survival is super high. And you're like, everyone will be fine. What if the one kid dies? It's kind of like that now, Adrian, but that's on you. And that's like, oh. So it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because you're damned if you do, because you feel for Buckler Martial Arts and the students or the parents that were there, and you're damned if you don't, because if you don't and something bad happens, you're kind of like, dude, that was on you. You should have done. You ought to have known better. And it says you shall do it. Not I may do it. It says I shall do it. So it's like I have to do this. So that's where it comes in. So, and that's what making us the bad guys is just awful.
So
that's the BS.
This is a far stretch.
I love the far stretch.
It's a far stretch. Right. But what if the government said to you, okay, we need to move people into concentration camps?
I don't know, man.
I know that's a far stretch, and I know
that
I'm
is a
putting you
far
on the
stretch.
spot on it either.
Yeah,
but it's just one.
I would hope that Dougie wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but imagine if
I would fight Dougie tooth and nail. And here's the thing:
would you guys though? Like, would that be something?
I think that's an extreme example.
Like, at what point, can our police say, no, we're not fucking rounding people up and put them in concentration camps? Like, would that be something that?
Yeah, you're talking like Red Dawn type stuff to me.
But I think
I don't know.
I think the problem is we're looking at us like powers into people like ourselves to have the right voice and expect the right things from our governments, right? If we say that the police, that they got to represent the people, that's being like, hey, can you control my voice? That's not really fair to the police. The police have a job to keep people safe so that you and I can speak up when the time's right. That's our job, I would say. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I'm all for democracy. I don't know
for sure. I just I don't know. Maybe I'm high emotions today just because I heard PL in Toronto shutting down. Yeah. So I'm like, I feel for the gym owners. I feel for anyone in small businesses.
Yeah. I don't know how far down the rabbit hole we want to go with, where the government lockdown and concentration camps, that type of stuff. But thank God.
Okay, so we haven't. I'm like,
holy shit, this is getting deep.
It's a stretch, but like I said, it's like, see, that's maybe why I would never be a good police officer.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't take that ground. I couldn't say,
I think that if you can take a common sense approach and a logical approach to pretty much anything, and you can articulate why you did what you did, that's the best thing you can possibly do. And at the end of the day, if you can make both parties happy, which is next to impossible, or have both parties walk away thinking, okay, I lost a little bit and I lost a little bit, but I'm okay with common ground, then that's a win. That's a win.